Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And I'm excited to bring on my guest, Tracey Fines. She knows everything when it comes to mindset and who she is today. Tracey, welcome to the show. Always amazing to see you.
Thank you, Alka. It's great to be here with you, and hello to your audience. I'm excited to share some of my journey, I guess, today, and maybe some tips and tricks and everything that I do in real estate. So I'm happy to share that with you and your audience. So thank you for inviting me.
We've known each other. You're my mentor. But for the viewers who don't know you, who is Tracey Fines? What is your backstory? How did you get started in real estate?
It's a deep one. Wow. Okay. Should I get the Kleenex box out? Because
Sure, if you like.
I feel some tears coming on. Wow. I guess beginning at the beginning is probably
sure,
the best.
Start where you like. Yes.
To start. I didn't know that I was going to be a real estate investor. When you choose a career, I chose interior design.
Okay.
So I didn't really know I became an accidental investor because I bought my first property and then fixed it up, and then people wanted to buy it and give me lots of money for it. And I was like, wow, this is better than my job. It's better than my salary, right? But I think you want to know a little bit even further back, right?
Yes, your backstory. Where did that begin for you?
What made me the crazy woman that I am today, right?
Who's made you the queen that you are today in real estate?
So I really did come from nothing, no means. And in fact, I was really abandoned by parents a couple of times. So I was really on my own. I started off on my own right from day one. I was, unfortunately abandoned by my mother, and I'm sure she didn't want to do it, but she did. And so I ended up without a mother and father for a while. And then I did get adopted eventually. So of course, I don't remember any of this. I'm sure that it had an impact on my survival skills. Right. That's what I think came from that alone time without my mother. Because of course, I was in the hospital. So can you imagine, like a little baby without a mom? I'm sure I was held by nurses and stuff, but it's just not the same, right? We know that there's nothing like a mother's love, right? For a child to feel like they're going to survive. So I'm sure that I came from a place where I felt like I was probably not going to survive. So I feel like in my subconscious, I have that will or that crazy like quality where I'm just going to make it happen for myself, right? Because no one's looking after me. So I really believe that it started for me very much from day one, very subconscious, but really basic survival instincts that were kicking in. Like, as an infant, right? You can't survive without a mother. You can't survive. Like, you won't be able to have food, So from a just a pure nature point of view, things didn't look too good for me. Now, I was adopted, and I had a really good childhood for a while. And then something crazy happened to me again. And in fact, to my whole family. My father and mother, they lost all their money for whatever reason. The bank foreclosed on our home, and we were literally out on the street. So another huge like blow to that survival instinct, to that, like, how am I going to survive again instinct, right? So it was like, I didn't have enough at birth. I had to like have another big wallop in my teenage years
Right.
with us being kind of without anything. It just, so crazy situation. And that wasn't the end of it either. My parents went into a tailspin and got really depressed. Of course, they lost their family home. They lost everything. They had no money. So of course they're going to feel very sad. And what ended up happening is other than the fact that we had no money, my parents were very depressed. My mother ended up getting very sick, and she ended up with cancer. And she died.
Oh no.
So I know I'm laughing, but I mean, it's either you laugh or you cry about this stuff. Like, so what I have learned, and I know you talk about this as well, like these are really, they're terrible tragedies in one way, but we can look at things in so many different perspectives. And so I really see these situations, and they're big situations, as opportunities for growth.
That's right.
And I had a choice at that point. When my mom died, I felt like I had hit rock bottom. And I basically looked at I remember very, very clearly, I don't want to cry, but I remember very clearly being at her funeral in the funeral home and looking in a mirror that was like right outside the washroom. And I just was like, I just had tears and everything. Like I was just, I was a mess. Right. And I just remember looking in that mirror and going, this is the worst it could be. There's nothing worse than what I'm feeling right now.
Right. Yeah.
And at that moment, it really released me. It almost set me free to do and be anything, because I didn't fear that there would be something worse coming for me.
Right.
Losing your mother at a young age is like, I think, the worst thing that can happen to a person. I don't know what else there would be, right? You don't have children yet of your own to worry about. You just have your parents, and your mom is, a key figure, right?
That's
key person of influence in your life. So I felt like at that moment, it really freed me up to be and do whatever I wanted. And like everything's up from here, right? So it really, I already had that instinctive, like, I'm going to make my life happen somehow already from birth, I believe. But this just reinforced, like, I can do whatever I want now. I'm just going to do whatever I want. Any failure couldn't be like this.
And Tracey, and I love that, because it comes down to survival of the fittest. And when I see kids in India, in underdeveloped countries, how they literally have to fend for themselves. Literally, they have parents that live in the slums. And that, to me, when I watch these kids, how they'll learn negotiations. Like you said, you were at that point in time, you said to yourself, I can do anything. And so when I watch these young kids, 7, 8, they go begging, but they are learning the skills. Whether someone at the back in the slums, they teach them, or whether they are not being taught, but they are hungry for learning. Teach me. They're hungry that, yes, I can do anything. And negotiations, they are learning all those skills. And that is what I'm hearing from you, that when it comes to survival of the fittest, I at that point, there's no turning back. I mean, looking forward.
Well, there's many ways you can look at situations in your life and things that are happening to and around you.
Right.
And really, with a lot of my own coaches and mentors and therapists and all that I've been through, I have really discovered that these difficulties that I've experienced have become really the biggest blessings of my life. And it's actually, pushed me in a direction that I'm in now. And I'm just so grateful for everything that's is in my life and everything that I have been able to do. And I see how it's surely shaped me into the woman that I am.
Right.
And so when I mentor, a lot of people as well. And that is, it's such a nice thing to be able to share with people that may be struggling, because just know that this is your opportunity right here. This struggle that you're facing, you have choices too on how you handle your struggles. So are you going to take this struggle and learn from it and grow? Because that's a growth opportunity, right?
Right.
Or are you going to take this struggle and fall off the cliff and, go into a pit of despair? So you really have a choices of how you handle those challenges in life. And so you really do have a lot to to steer. You have a lot of room there to steer which direction you actually are choosing to go.